is the cruelest episode of Wife Swap ever.
Don't you shout at me. Do not shout at me.
Arrogant.
I don't know whether or not Emma were going to make a pass at my husband.
She's jealous that a beautiful woman has gone into her house.
Life's a bitch, innit? Dr. Emma in the house.
Hello, you gorgeous donuts. Wife Swap is a TV show where two wives from totally different families switch with each other for 2 weeks to see how they cope and see if they can learn anything. After this 2-week period, both the couples then meet up and criticise each other's family dynamics. Honestly, the drama that this concept creates is unmatched. You could never air an episode like the one we're watching today in today's world. This specific episode is known as one of the cruelest episodes that Wife Swap have ever uploaded. It's a full British edition. I'm just going to warn you, some of the arguments in this will have you stunned, and there's one specific moment in this video that is coming later that genuinely will leave you gobsmacked. So let's just get into it. I am so excited. The episode starts off with us meeting the Spry family, which consists of Colin and Emma and both their daughters. They've been married for 10 years.
Colin and Emma Spry live in Devon. They own a £180,000 detached house and take 3 holidays a year.
You know that this was filmed ages ago by the fact they have an 180 grand detached house. Like, that doesn't even exist in Devon these days, I don't think. In most places, you'd struggle to even get a flat for that price.
We are aspirational, aren't we? We are ambitious. I get that from my parents.
I get that purely from the fact that I've worked hard all my life, and it'd be really nice for us to have something.
Why was that really passive-aggressive? I get that from my parents. Well, I didn't actually get it from my parents because they give us nothing. I get that from my own hard work, thank you very much. I love that they've labelled themselves aspirational. These have definitely got about, I'm going to say about 5, maybe 6 live, laugh, love signs in the house. They'll be coming straight down when the new wife comes. We then learn that both of them are trying to open up their own restaurant, which obviously that's like stressful in itself, opening your own business. Like, why would you want to appear on Wife Swap unless it's like a genius marketing technique to get like exposure to your restaurant?
The lifestyle that I'd like to have would be a mansion, a swimming pool, butler, maybe.
Sorry, that's harsh. Saying that she wants to go to a mansion and then it cuts straight to, they know what they were doing with this show. I mean, that's kind of a mansion. You know, for like, I don't know, Stuart Little or something. And this is where we meet our other family appearing on the TV show, the Bardsleys. Mark and Lizzy have 2 one-year-old twins, and their names really caught me off guard.
Mark and Lizzy from Rochdale, and their 1-year-old twins, Anika and Anushka.
Sorry? Okay, fair play. Right, I get it, going down the kind of like Kardashian West route, you know, giving them just kind of like obscure name. I'm here for it. Okay. Also, like, I love that they've came in matching clothes. This is just unbelievable. I rate it heavily. To show a united front, I'll be doing the same. Now, instantly, I thought, okay, this is going to be really stressful for Emma coming into this environment where there's 2 one-year-old twins. Like, that's a lot to deal with. However, the show then shows us the rest of their kids.
And Casey aged 11, Elliot aged 12, Melody, who's 8, Vienna aged 3, Marky aged 4, and Saffron aged 2. And you came on a show like Wife Swap.
Oh my God. Are you trying to torture the other wife? Like, it's, you know, coming into an environment with like 2 kids is like, you know, very stressful. It's nearly got a full football team there. Nearly got substitutions. Bloody hell. I reckon the mum of this family, Lizzy, is just going on this show for a bit of peace and quiet. She knows no matter how many kids the other house has, it's not going to be as many as her.
Being on your own with 5 under 4 is a bit of a scary experience, even for the mother of the 5 children.
Genuinely, I don't even know how I would cope with that many children. Like, I would struggle with 1, never mind 8. And what did she say, 5 under 4? Oh my God, this woman is like Superwoman. Also, like, having that many babies in such a short period of time, like, do you get invited to the Christmas party at the hospital? Like, surely, like, you just have your own bed there at that point. We then find out that Lizzy and Mark are both unemployed and rely on benefits to feed every single mouth in their family, all 10 mouths, which is a lot. And prior to researching for this episode, apparently these 2 are the most notorious couple that have ever appeared on the show, so we're gonna have to wait until later in this video to find out why that that is. In contrast to Mark and Lizzy, Colin from the other family works 70 hours a week, and we find out he also cooks every single meal for his family.
In the Spry household, food presentation is Colin's responsibility. As well as working a 70-hour week, he cooks all the family meals.
Why have they put the feet right in front of the camera? Come on, it's not just me noticing this. Bang! Barefoot shot. Check the cameraman's hard drive.
Colin is a modern husband, so we have a modern, I would class it as a modern relationship.
That's right, Emma, right? Whip that man into place, right? Make him bark like a dog. Sorry, getting a bit excited there, guys. One thing Emma does say is that she doesn't feel like she's a natural mother.
I think I communicate well with people on all levels, but I'm not a natural mother figure.
Well, that's going to serve her well with the 8 kids she's going to have to deal with for 2 weeks. Oh, God. The producers of this show were so evil because they really did get 2 contrasting families to mix. There was never any similarities between the families that would appear on this show.
This other woman is going to find it sheer hell.
Although TV from this decade was very brutal, one thing I really do like about it is it's really raw, and the people appearing on these episodes were just being themselves, so you got the good and the bad. Now we start to see how there could be a little bit of friction between Lizzy and Mark, as Lizzy is a little bit worried about another woman living in her house with her husband.
I don't know if she gets a bit frisky after she's had a drink or anything like that. Goodness only knows what she's saying about me. But he's mine to keep your maulers off.
Okay, love, I don't think anyone's trying to steal Mark here, right? She's got lovely Colin at home, right? Colin that she whips into shape. But straight away that you can see there's little doubts in Lizzy's head. She might be a little bit insecure. Like, I feel like anybody would be. But why? One thing I always think is, why would you appear on this show if you are a little bit insecure? Because obviously they're sleeping in the same house as your husband. You have no access to what's going on. Like, that would drive most people mental. We're going to have to wait and see if Emma does in fact steal Mark away from Lizzy. It's just so funny the way that they edit this section.
Colin would like the new wife to be glamorous, conscious about her appearance, and a good conversationist.
I'm a stunner, Anna.
One thing I do want to know is, you know, they're always the family that were the worse off family financially. The show's always set up to make them look like absolute monsters, when in reality they're not at all. But in the 2000s, like, TV like this very much did try and set up like working class people to look as bad as possible. It was kind of really strange. After this, the wives then leave their families to stay with their new family for the next 2 weeks. Honestly, I don't think Lizzy and Colin have got anything in common. I feel like Mark and Emma, like, we don't know too much about Mark, but I feel like they've got more of a chance of having a little bit more chemistry. However, Emma's gonna have to deal with 8 kids, so I don't even know if they're gonna be able to talk to each other. Before the wives do meet their new families, they do get to tour their houses before the families arrive, so they can kind of just get a grip of the surroundings.
Very poor shops at Sainsbury's.
Wait, I feel like I've said that sentence before. Why is Lizzy me? I've definitely said that. Sainsbury's is posh. I don't care what anyone says, right? Once I went in Sainsbury's and I saw in the meal deals they had prawns with that like really posh sauce next to it, and I was like, you know what? This is a place where you need to have a certain tax bracket to shop here. It's like a little bit of a wannabe Waitrose, is what I'm trying to say. Hopefully I don't offend anyone there, but you're just gonna have to deal with it. God, don't know why I did that. Like I ate and left no crumbs or something. Don't even know what that is. Why did I just... Sorry guys, I've actually got a really bad neck.
And 2 more. 8. 8 children.
Did you hear the tone in her voice when she entered this house? She was like, oh yeah, it's nice. Oh, there's 2 children. 4, 6... 8. Oh, I just feel like because in her own words she said she's not a natural mother. This is just, you know, really testing her here.
It's been quite a while since I've been with youngsters.
What? You live in a house with 2? Has she just completely blocked her own kids out of her mind? I'm not the natural mother. Basically, I just don't even look at them, right? So I don't even know if you can call us a mother, really. It's literally been like, what, 20 minutes?
I don't feel that I'm a natural mother, but that'll be put to the test this week, won't it?
I mean, you can say that again, love. Christ. The wives then read the manuals they've left for each other about how they like to run their homes, and they need to abide by these rules for the first week of the experiment. And then in the second week, they can implement their own rules that they would have in their own house. And this change creates so much drama, but you're gonna have to wait until that moment. Okay, I'm keeping you waiting.
Colin gets up at 7:30 and makes tea. He then prepares breakfast and dinner for everyone. Cleaning the kitchen. This is Colin's demeanour.
Oh my God, Colin is like the house husband, the working house husband. Wow, I love that for Colin. Well done, mate. So Colin, like, looks after all the kids, cooks all the meals, makes everyone tea. What does Emma actually do in this house? Is this not just going to be like a holiday for Lizzy?
We believe in hard work and do not like people who don't have life ambitions. To put that in a book for somebody else to come into your house, and it's as if you feel that person's not worthy of coming into your house.
I feel like Lizzy's going to destroy this home now. Did you see the change in her face when she read about the aspirational bit? She was like, the motherfucker. I'll show you aspirational, the bastard. One thing I was surprised by is the show like sets Emma and Colin up as being like really rich and doing really well. However, after tax, they actually have less income than what the Bardsleys do.
What is your average combined income after tax? 37,500 from benefits.
But obviously the difference in lifestyle is down to how many kids the Bardsleys have. So like they have to separate that between 8 kids rather than 2. So obviously that's why Colin and Emma are able to go on 3 holidays a year and the Bardsleys, you know, just have to survive. By the way, imagine like going on holiday with 8 kids. How would you even do that? As a kid, that would be like the funnest adventure ever. Imagine just your family having like 2 rows to yourselves. Unbelievable. The wives then meet their new families for the first time. I always wonder, like, what do they tell their kids before they meet these women? You know, are they just like, by the way, Mum's gone to live with another fella. We've swapped her, so this is your new mum for 2 weeks. Like, how is a kid meant to process that? Like, as a kid, I know you don't overthink things, but you would be like, where's me mum? I just want me mum. Like, imagine going to school and being like, oh yeah, I've swapped me mum for this other girl, right? She's really nice, actually.
You know how many boys and girls I've got at my house? You want to scream now, but I've got 8.
Colin's like, Emma's fucked. Also, if I was like appearing on Husband Swap, I'm looking around the house like at framed photos of this husband. I need to make sure that he's like not as attractive as me, which obviously, you know, is going to be very difficult, right? At this point, Colin seems to be buzzing that Lizzy is his new wife.
She's very bubbly, got lots to say, lots of personality. Northern lass with, yeah, just a real spark. And
why is he like describing her? How someone would write their own Tinder profile. Yeah, I'm just a northern lass with a load of spark and lots to say, so if you can handle it, swipe right. However, Lizzy isn't so keen on Colin.
If I had to sum Colin up in one word, I'd say wuss.
So no, he's been nothing but nice to you. It's a little bit harsh, right? Tough crowd, tough audience. You can tell she goes to comedy gigs and just constantly heckles them. You're shit! Get off the stage! Boo! Boo! Her calling him that, like she's basically calling him a coward. I don't know how she's worked this out straight away.
Even down to his socks. I don't know, and he's starting out. He's all man and no balls, and a man without any balls is no good.
Why am I self-conscious now? I don't know if I'm a man with balls. I mean, I've got balls, but have I got balls? In Lizzy's, I have no idea. What determines if you've got balls or nothing? You've literally known this man for about 5 minutes. He might go on a zip line when he goes on holiday. Is that enough balls for your love? Like, how does his socks determine if he's got balls or not? Is he wearing, like, fluffy socks? Is that, like, not a lot? I don't know. I have no idea what the criteria is here. It's confusing us. The show then cuts to a man that does, in fact, have balls in Lizzy's eyes.
Excuse me, that's a lager.
Sorry, why is he, like, filming that interview to the camera like he's the guy off Avatar, like doing his daily vlogs? Do you know what I mean? A real man with balls has a lot of wind in him. Okay. You can tell Mark isn't too happy with Emma being his new wife.
There's nothing like somebody else cooking for you. You can really enjoy the fucking meal. So, that were a real pisser when I found out she don't do much cooking.
don't know what it is. Just his vibe. I'm like, I think, you know, he's gonna like murder her by the end of these 2 weeks. It's the way he's just like, it's the croakiness to it. He speaks like he's part of the Peaky Blinders. Now you're going to see like a total character development from Mark. Like he's nothing like what he's describing here later in this video. And you can already tell that Emma feels like she's made a huge mistake coming on this experiment. Just quickly guys, I want to say we are on the hunt for 500,000 subscribers on the channel. 500,000. So if you want to be in the before 500,000 club of donuts, press the subscribe button now because it's your one chance. Also, I never mentioned this, but there is a little bell icon. So if you do want to get notifications from the channel so you can watch these videos as soon as they're uploaded, it's free. Press the button, it helps me out. And then, hey, you're never going to miss a video.
A little bit shocked. 8 children.
Pack it in, fighting.
Get to bed.
Also, right, how wild is it that you just ditch your kids and let this random woman who you've never met just like take over? Like, how do you have that much trust in your body? Like, I don't want anyone else like looking after my kids in my own home. Like, I could just never go on a show like this. They're just so comfortable with strangers just teaching their kids things. It's weird. Is that not weird to you? Moving on. What is interesting about this particular wife swap episode, in other ones, they don't like take over their work commitments. However, in this one, Lizzy is going to work at Emma's job. And according to the narrator, this is the first time that Lizzy has worked in 10 years. I can't play the music because it'll get copyrighted. But why have they overlaid Dolly Parton 9 to 5? The production team are so brutal.
Executive pants. I'm a bit apprehensive about going now.
Sorry, no one can convince me this show is not so weird. Like, why are they even wearing the exact clothes that the other wife would normally wear? Like, genuinely, you know, if someone at work didn't know that you were taking part in this experiment, they genuinely would believe that, like, you've been murdered and this person is pretending to be you and, like, nobody else seems to care because they all know and you don't. Also, like, how do our work agree to this? Genuinely, like, somebody that is trained in a certain, like, sector just getting replaced by someone who hasn't got a clue what to do? How does the like, office approve this? Imagine if I appeared in Husband Swap and then some random bloke just has to take over these videos and I just didn't tell you about it. But like, who the fuck's this guy? I bet you would like him more as well. Right, no news, you probably would, wouldn't you?
Our perspective, Emma does a really good job here, doesn't she? So,
Absolutely.
So,
I don't think she'll be doing a good job at my house.
So you don't think she'll want to stay then?
No, because at the end of the day, she goes home from me, doesn't she? The kids are there 24 hours a day.
To be fair, she kind of has a point. If I could choose to work in an office or look after 8 kids, I'm going in the office. It's like a break, if I'm being honest. Like, 8 young children, that's more than a 9 to 5. That's just absolute hell. Obviously, Lizzy doesn't work, so Emma just has to stay home with all of the kids. And she seems to be coping okay at the start. I love how she just gave them all bottles and went, please, please shut up. However, Emma tells us that she's actually really struggling, and she's also struggling with her dynamic with Mark.
Finding Mark arrogant, expecting me just to step into Liz's shoes.
Well, this is where we live, innit?
To be fair, you would want a little bit more help at the start from the dad. Like, it's mad that she has to kind of just jump in like a million miles an hour and like do everything. I know that's the concept of the show, but at least ease her into it a little bit. Just help her a little bit with the 8 kids. All we've seen from Mark so far is him just sitting around just drinking beer. Back in the Spry house, Lizzy is already breaking the rules of the show, as she's not meant to like implement her own rules in the first week. However, she's kind of just doing what she wants to do.
Oh, you can't boil them first.
Don't I already have?
I don't. I'll wash it first. I'll wash it first. I'm not going to eat food.
I mean, I thought this man wanted to open up a restaurant and be like a chef. This isn't exactly the best marketing for it if someone else is like doing it for you, is it? Someone else feels like they can cook better than you. It must be hard for Lizzy though. Like, genuinely, like if you've got 8 kids and you're used to doing everything, like you're always used to, you know, your mind being occupied. She must feel kind of bored in this house. For anyone else, 2 kids would be a lot of work, but for her, that's like a breeze.
The ironing should be out in the front room.
There are children playing in the living room. I've got 3 tops to do, I'll be done in 4 or 5 minutes.
See, I think she knows that Colin, like, in her own mind, she feels like he's weak. So she's just trying to, like, push her boundaries out here and kind of walk all over him a little bit, kind of see how far she can push him. Back in the Bardsley's house, we actually get some insight into how this family actually functions on a daily basis. At this point, we're made to believe that Lizzy does literally everything in this house. However, Mark's mum comes and reveals that's not the case.
Are you Emma?
I am.
Oh, you poor thing. Ironing.
Ironing.
I don't think Lizzy irons.
Didn't she?
Don't think so. I've not seen an iron for the past year.
She didn't.
Okay, smell that. Smells like Lizzie's bullshit, it does. Making us iron, are you, Lizzy? You don't even do it. Yeah. Bastard. You can tell Mark's mum isn't fond of Lizzy. Like, she's using this as, like, her way to get back at her. Like, her little comments about Lizzy are so passive-aggressive.
There's a bit of dust on the top. You don't bother about it, does she not, Mark?
Oh, but
No.
she does do a cleaning, but...
But I've never seen Elizabeth with dustering around yet.
Lizzy is getting exposed so badly here. Like, she's kind of told the camera that she's, like, this, like, you know, model mom, that she takes care of everything in the house, like the husband doesn't really do anything, and Mark's kind of fed into that narrative. I don't know if he's trying to, like, seem cool to the people that are watching, possibly his mate, that, like, he gets his wife to do everything, but clearly Mark is like the house husband in this relationship.
You don't cook at all?
No.
Mark is the one that does most of the cooking here.
So Lizzy doesn't even cook! That... I've had the wool pulled over my eyes here. I love how in the Spry household, she literally, like, pretended to iron, pretended to cook, do all of these things that she said she does when she doesn't do any of it. None of it. I can't wait to see what's to come for the rest of this episode. And at this point, Emma tells the camera she's kind of confused about her responsibilities because obviously she needs to go by the manual because that's, like, the concept of the show. However, like, obviously the grandma's coming round. Now we found out that Mark is also saying that he does most of the stuff. So she's just confused and she's, like, obviously right in feeling that way. And then I feel really sorry for Colin, Emma's husband, because Lizzy is just walking all over him in that house. But to be fair, it seems like Emma also walks all over him, so, like, no matter what woman lives in Colin's house, he's the one that does everything. Both Colin and Lizzy then go for a date night because that's what Colin and Emma do once a week, and this is where we see how insecure Lizzy is about Emma living with Mark.
How do you feel about that situation?
I don't know whether or not my Mark might find Emma attractive. Oh, well, she's pretty.
Like, why are you asked about if Mark's sleeping with Emma? What about your kids? Are you not worried about this woman looking after your kids? You haven't mentioned your kids once here. You're only worried about if Mark's sleeping with Emma, which shouldn't be a worry here because surely you should trust your partner enough to appear on this show anyway.
I don't know whether or not Emma were going to make a pass at my husband. If she's had a drink, we don't.
Now, this one's such a tricky one because obviously, like, another woman sleeping in the same house as your husband, you have a right to be a bit concerned if anything, you know, could go on. But I really feel like Lizzy's projecting here. Like, she says it's always on a woman's mind. What does that mean? Like, a woman's always thinking about sleeping with a man that she's next to? I don't really believe that. If that is true, you absolute dirty dogs, women. Right, I'm finding out a lot of things about girls today and I don't like it. I don't like it very much. She just seems like she's projecting her insecurities here. Like Colin says, he's very secure in his relationship. Like, he's not even thinking about that.
If you trust your fella, then that shouldn't come into
No,
it.
it's not the point. It's you're not there to control the situation.
This is really strange because obviously, like, Lizzy is, like, deeply insecure and I have no idea why she's appeared on this show because later in this video, you're gonna see it makes her look like a terrible person later on. It makes us think as well, if Lizzy actually fancied Colin, would she try and make a move on him because, you know, like she says it's always on a woman's mind? I'm unsure, but I guess we'll never know because she thinks he's a wuss. So that's not going to happen.
Yeah, but why shouldn't Emma enjoy cooking for her children as well?
She doesn't have to enjoy that. If she chooses
she's not prepared to give up her time to, you know, to cook something healthy for her children.
But Lizzy, we've found out that you don't even cook in your house. So why are you, like, cussing someone else out for not cooking when you don't even do it yourself? Lizzy is single-handedly destroying feminism right now.
And you don't like me, do you not? Well, hey, life's a bitch. And on that note, I shall go and intake some nicotine. Excuse me.
I can't tell if I find her really funny or just really, like, revolting Or maybe a little bit of both. She reminds me of the type of people that would live in me street growing up, that would like be screaming just constantly at all hours, just constantly screaming in the front garden. Reminds us of like one of me next door neighbours as a kid. It's just interesting to see the difference in how much Colin and Lizzy both trust their partners. At the end of this video, I'm going to do an update if these two couples are actually still together today, so stick around for that. In the Bardsley household, Emma has actually started to stand up for herself and she's not like, you know, acting like Mark's slave anymore. It's very clear at this point that both Mark and Lizzy came into this experiment to try and bully the other person that they're going to be staying with.
What, make you a brew?
Yeah.
Is that what Liz would do? I don't think so, would she?
Oh! Okay, love. That's what we in the business call a snatch. Thank you very much, Emma. Some would say Emma's serving right now. Some people would be me. After Emma stands up for herself, Mark then admits to her that he's basically been trying to stitch her up this entire time and he hasn't been honest about his own household responsibilities.
How do I know that you haven't fucking stitched Liz up down there and said, like...
Why would I want to do that?
Well, I don't know. Why do you think we're stitching you up?
Then you're not playing, like, you're not doing wife swap. Like, what game are you playing? Torture the new wife? That's not a fun game. That's not a TV show I want to watch. Torture the new wife until she breaks. I honestly think that Mark just wanted to seem cool to his mates down the pub, that, like, he's, like, the old school alpha male of the house. He makes his wife do everything for him. When in reality, he's the one that does everything for his family, which is, like, a really cool thing. That shouldn't be shamed. Like, the fact you have like a hands-on approach in your own family dynamic should be praised. You shouldn't be hiding that. You can just tell that Mark is really angry that he's been exposed here.
She's trying to make me look a fucking dickhead. She's been too busy listening to the fucking people and thought, fuck it, I'll take a back seat on this one and let this prick fucking do everything.
It's how ominous this is shot, though. Like, why have the production team decided to only put the studio light on one side of his face so he looks like Harvey Dent or something here? This looks so dramatic. They're making him out to look evil. But also, you can't say that she's not playing by the rules of the game when you and Lizzy have literally just, like, kind of ruined this experiment by just trying to torture the other person that you're going to be dealing with.
This prick's fucking woke up. He's took notice and he's putting his foot down.
I love that he speaks about himself in the third person, but not like naming him, just calling himself this prick. It's kind of hard, but I'm kind of here for it. And it's at this point that Mark starts to like offload his anger towards Emma. Also, guys, if you don't mind, can you please like drop a like on this video? Apparently it helps us out and it only takes a second, so yeah, I appreciate it.
You've got kids of your own, you should be used to it.
I have got kids, but then my children weren't so demanding.
Some people are used to kids and others aren't.
I mean, there's being used to kids and then there's being used to 8 kids. I don't think, 99.9% of the population, I think, would struggle to look after 8 kids if it was just kind of plopped on them. Gotta give her a little bit of a break here. Like, can you see this a little bit from her point of view? And it's at this point of the show where everything that comes after it is actually really disturbing. And as this part of the show goes on, it only gets worse and worse. Emma starts to break down in tears, crying, and we find out that it actually is the first birthday of the twins. Like, why has Lizzy went on this show and missed her twins' first birthday? Genuinely. Imagine missing your child's first birthday to stay with a man called Colin. Priorities, woman! And because it's the twins' birthday, Lizzy is actually allowed to contact Mark to, just find out how they're doing. However, she doesn't really even ask about the twins. All she's bothered about is Emma.
What do you think of her?
Not bad, alright.
You're being nice, aren't you? Oh, you're being nice to her. She pisses you off, tell her. Their husbands are out ponce.
Like, why is she just so aggressive? Like, why is she trying to incite him to be horrible towards Emma? It's like giving really weird behaviour. She then starts pressing Mark if he fancies Emma.
Think she's pretty?
Not my type, but not really.
She's blonde. She doesn't do anything for you?
No.
That's alright then.
Lizzy, anything about your kids? It's their first birthday. They're crying in the background. Anything? Now you're just wondering if Mark and Emma have shagged. That's alright, love. Thank you very much. And the longer this call goes on, the crueler it gets.
I'm still at the back door crying.
Is she?
What's up?
No, I just don't want to talk
Tell
about
a soft came to sort her head out.
Finding it hard?
Wife's a bitch, innit?
What am I watching right now? This is like a really messed up version of Ant and Dec in your ear. Do you know in the ear? Being like, alright, go on, tell him he's ugly. Go on, Do it. You wouldn't dare. Like, why is she trying to destroy this woman? Like, she's crying at the back door. Bearing in mind, this is the woman that's looking after your children right now. If anything, you'd want to encourage her, possibly, to, you know, like, get back on it and be nice towards your kids. This isn't going to help.
She's just got to, like, switch off and get on with it. I don't reckon she'll make it. I don't reckon she'll lose 10 days.
Like, the fact that he even went in the garden to, like, you know, say that next to her so she could hear that he doesn't think she's gonna last. It just shows that both Lizzy and Mark have, like, a really toxic relationship, and it's very much built on intimidating each other. Do you know what I mean? Lizzy's just such a hypocrite because she's calling Emma lazy, etc., that she does nothing, but now we're finding out Lizzy is the exact same in her household. And at the end of this video, we're going to find out where Lizzy is now, and the behaviour that she's displaying now isn't nothing on what you're going to see at the end of this video. It's now the next morning, and Lizzy isn't waking up to go to Emma's job because she's been up all night worrying about the dynamic between Mark and Emma living in her house.
It's 8:30, should be up and ready for work by now. At the moment, Lizzie's still in bed. I'm not really sure what time she's likely to get up.
Like, you know what, if you want to have a lie in. But you can't have a lie in after you've called Emma lazy, right? Then it just defeats the entire kind of aura around you. It just makes you look like an absolute bastard. Or a wuss, in your words. Lizzy B's even more hypocritical as she spends the entire day just doing nothing. She doesn't do any chores that she's meant to do, any of the chores that Emma would do around the house.
The less that I've got to do, the more time I've got to sit and dwell on the fact I'm not in my own house, in my own family.
Now, from Lizzy's point of view, I can obviously understand why you'd be upset, you know, because obviously you thought it was a good idea to come into this experiment. It's something new, whatever reason you got into it for. And obviously you're going to miss your kids, you're going to miss your husband, because clearly that's her entire life. However, the behaviour that she's shown just kind of demonstrates how she really probably doesn't do anything in her own house, because this really, in terms of responsibilities, should be a breeze for her, only having 2 kids and not really having to do anything compared to what she says she does in her own home. But then again, she might feel like she's got no purpose being here because she's not constantly busy, so that might be why she's so, I don't know, down. I'm trying to work this out from her point of view, but it just, every time I try and boil it down, it just comes back to her lying about what she actually does in her own home. Back in the Bardsley's house, Emma and Mark are actually getting on really well, which I bet Lizzy is absolutely buzzing about. I think it's because now Mark is finally just acting how he would act if Lizzy was there. He's not making Emma do everything, so now they're actually talking to each other and getting on. Whereas with Lizzy, like, her act of being such a productive person and being the person that, like, does everything in the house has definitely wore off, and now she's being who she really is.
I just think she's jealous. She's jealous that a beautiful woman has gone into her house. She isn't able to cope with that. I don't think she trusts her husband.
Colin's so calm and nice, bless him. I love that man. I do think he's right, though. I think Lizzy is just feeling so down, not because she's not with her kids, but because she for some reason, in her own head, she's made this scenario where Mark is sleeping with Emma, and it's, like, completely drained her energy levels. And it's at this point that Lizzy just can't hack this experiment anymore, as she breaks another rule of the show by calling Mark again. And what comes next is wild.
Right, Emma's here now. I've got a message off Liz to say, Emma, you got to pack your bags and get out of the house now. She just said, why? She just said, mind your own fucking business, it's her house.
This woman, man!
She reckons you've been doing fuck all, you've ignored the babies, and apparently Liz has been busting her gut down there.
How do you know that Emma's been ignoring the babies? You're not here. You have no access to any footage that has been took in these 5 days at all. I don't want to be too harsh on her because I know that she's probably really struggling with insecurities, but she's making up these scenarios in her head that aren't actually happening, and then she's being aggressive towards Emma about these scenarios that don't actually exist.
She just said that shit and laughed. She said, yeah, fucking hell.
Wow.
I love that Emma is just absolutely creased. She's like, what have I done wrong? We're literally just in this experiment. We both made the same decision to do this. What have I done? Mark then tells the camera some other stuff Lizzy was saying.
I don't know what's got into her. She's just gone totally off her fucking head.
Sorry, just before we hear this, why is there just a printed out photo of a girl here? Who is this girl? Is this not a bit odd?
Call her a marriage wrecker. So get that slag out of my fucking house and pack your fucking bags while you're at it. I don't know what the fuck's got into her.
Marriage wrecker? Sorry? Now, because Lizzy wants to leave the experiment, Emma must also leave Lizzy's house. And for the final night, Lizzy is actually checked into a hotel room because she can't stand the sight of Colin.
When I was talking with Colin the other night, it came out about the fact that when he met Emma originally, they were married, the marriage, going through a bad patch, and Emma was there. And here, presto, Emma and Colin get married.
Okay. So now we get a little bit more context as to why she was acting so, outrageously on the phone to Mark. I can see the pipeline of, her already being an insecure person, and then she finds out information like this. That's going to make her mind absolutely spiral, because she's going to be like, well, this could possibly happen again. And in her mind, if she doesn't think Colin is, that attractive, she has such a low opinion on Colin, she's going to think that Emma is going to think Mark's so much better than Colin. So in her mind, in all of these scenarios, I can see why she's overthinking. However, it all comes back to, why have you appeared on this show if you're insecure in your relationship? This was never going to end well. I don't understand what the reason was why she's done this, apart from getting peace away from her own kids, which she's barely mentioned in this episode. Now, I've mentioned previously in this video, with Wife Swap, in the second week they get to implement their own rules. However, the show didn't actually last this long in this particular episode. Do you want to know how long Lizzy was staying with Colin and Mark with Emma? 3 days. 3 bloody days. That's all. 72 hours. And Lizzy was like, nah, fuck it. The fact you've missed your twin's birthday for this, you've got to see it out. Otherwise it was all for nothing. And somehow the show managed to convince both of the couples to meet face to face so they can criticise each other. I don't know how they managed this.
How many days did you go to work, Liz?
1. Because I'm chronic asthmatic.
And you've got children as well, haven't you, that are chronic asthmatic? Smoking around asthmatic children is not good.
Dr. Emma in the house.
Sorry? What is going on right now? Genuinely, this seems scripted because of how good it is. Now, no matter what your opinion of Lizzy and Mark is, Emma definitely has kind of been condescending towards both of them. She is talking down to them, but obviously she just has such a strong feeling about the both of them, and just kind of warranted feeling that way. But why did she say Dr. Emma like that? That was so weird and so out of the blue. You can tell at this point Emma is just getting under Lizzy's skin on purpose.
Mark, you're brilliant. You do everything in the house.
Correction. No, he doesn't. He had to while you were there, because you weren't doing what you were supposed to.
Lizzy, you don't know. You don't know. You're making yourself look really silly here because you don't know what's happened. Genuinely, Emma was pulling her fair share in that house. She was doing most of the work until Mark admitted that, yeah, basically I do everything already.
You seem fascinated by me, Liz.
I do find you fascinating because I just can't get my head around it, to be honest.
I feel flattered.
Don't be, because you don't want to be.
Clearly, Lizzy is, for some reason, jealous of Emma, and I don't know why. And Emma definitely is, winding her up on purpose here. That's why Lizzy's getting angrier and angrier, because everything she's saying isn't affecting her. But if I was Mark, I would just be like, will you just, can you just stop? Stop getting so angry. There's no need to be so aggressive here.
Hey, don't you shout at me. Do not shout at me.
You're shouting at him. So if you're shouting at him, surely he can shout at you. What are the rules here? There is no rules. That's what I've discovered.
Right, don't sit there flattening your eyelids at my husband, you fucking tart.
Bro, she called her a fucking tart. What the hell? Nothing worse than getting called a tart. Yeah, how do you come back from it? If someone calls you an idiot, etc., you can just be like, you're the idiot. You can't just say you're the tart. That doesn't work. The impact has already been done. Tart. What a word. I need that to enter my vocabulary. It's just, you can't come back from it. You're fucking tart. What do you say? It's so stupid, but so good.
Oh, we can speak. Okay.
Here, don't give my husband permission to speak, you new snooty fucking mate.
She's completely lost it. She's gone. She's genuinely gone. I don't know if Lizzy has been hurt by someone that resembles Emma, but she's just being so overly aggressive for some reason. For some reason, she believes that Mark's in love with her, when Mark genuinely isn't. They never had that kind of chemistry on that level throughout the show. Yet Lizzie's convinced herself that Emma wants to steal Mark away from her.
No, she's thought they've been a patronising cow. Look at me.
Sit down and calm, let me talk, will you?
Oh my god, this woman is like hilarious, but just like is embarrassing herself, unfortunately. It's so sad because, you know, like people from the background that Lizzy and Mark are from, they're very strategically put on these shows. They're basically set up to fail. The producers look at them and go, yeah, they're going to embarrass themselves on telly. And unfortunately, that like reflects on their community. I know where I lived, I remember this person was on Jeremy Kyle, and then everyone, like the whole area was like renowned for him being on Jeremy Kyle, and then people thought of everyone in that area like that, when in reality this is not how it works. But for some reason TV in this era had an obsession with like embarrassing people from working class backgrounds, and this episode is just the perfect example of it. And then the episode basically ends there. Genuinely, that was one of the wildest roller coasters of a TV show I've ever watched. Lizzy was one of the most disturbing people I've ever seen appear on a show like this. I don't quite know what her intentions were to come on this show. Genuinely, not one of these four people like picked up any advice from appearing on this show. Their lives probably only got worse after this. Now, I promised I would do updates, and I really did try and research a lot of things about these people, and some of the stuff I found was really sad, some was really disturbing, so I just want to pre-warn you before that. So Lizzy was actually found guilty of child cruelty. Now, I read some of the things in this article, and I don't really want to repeat them. If you do want to go and do your own research, wasn't very nice stuff, and I don't even think I can kind of like air this on YouTube. There was an article also about apparently committing fraud, like benefit fraud, like saying that she was getting less money than she actually was. I tried to find out if her and Mark are separated, and I think I found out that they actually have separated since appearing on the show. I just hope all of their kids are doing okay, because this couldn't have been easy seeing the mum and dad on this show and seeing the reaction that they got, because apparently after this aired there was a lot of complaints made about these two. Moving on to both Colin and Emma. Colin actually sadly passed away in the last couple of years. He did actually achieve his dream of owning his own bar/restaurant, which is really nice. And also Colin in this episode was like really like a nice guy. Like even when Lizzy was being aggressive towards him, he was always very calm. He always treated her with respect. He seemed like a lovely guy. So I was really sad when I found this out, and I just hope that both of his girls are doing okay now. Emma was a little bit hard to find out an update about. I did find her Instagram, and I saw that she was on holiday with like another guy a couple of times, so I wonder if she, you know, has moved on since the unfortunate passing of Colin. It's just a really sad scenario, and I hope that the two girls are doing okay now, because obviously this is not very nice. So yeah, apologies for ending this video on a somber note. Hopefully you did enjoy the actual episode breakdown. Let me know if you want me to make the wife swap videos a series. I have done one previous one if you want to go and watch it now, because that one was absolutely mental, where it involved a UK/USA crossover. Or watch a brand new video on my Reacts channel right here.